Hello, everyone. All right, we are playing Modern Living End tonight. Yeah, this might come as a little surprise. Um, we don't normally play, I, I, I actually don't remember the last time I've even played Living End. It's been probably years for me. Uh, but yeah, we're gonna be degenerate combo players. Now, this is also sort of a control deck too. It kind of is. I don't. It's weird because like its primary plan is to cheat a bunch of things into play, but it does have a lot of like important cards in it that can help shape the game with like Force of Negation and Brazen Borrower here. Architects of Will, once you get those out, like they'll kind of lock the opponent out. You have your discard effects and grief, so you've got a you've got a lot of counterplay to like other combo decks too. And the sideboard gives you a lot more options as well. You have artifact and enchantment hate, graveyard hate, extra counter magic, and discard hate. So, yeah, you get to a point where like sometimes even you will just cast Curator of Mysteries, just cycle stuff to scry, and you just win the game with like a 4/4 flyer, and that can be good enough. So it's a little bit it's a little bit weird. It's Yeah, no, it straddles a line of like sometimes it's just a really like fair dumb draft deck, and sometimes this is just a ridiculously powerful combo deck. Uses the graveyard. Definitely is important. So cards like Relic of Progenitus are very helpful against this deck. However, if you will notice here, Grafdigger's Cage does not affect a living end. So if it while that's good against a lot of graveyard decks, very uniquely against this one, Cage does nothing. So the biggest addition that this deck got is Modern Horizons 2 gave it Shardless Agent, which hugely powered up the deck. Because now um, you can stay in primarily three colors, but they've actually gone into a fourth. But you have Shardless Agent, and you also have Violent Outburst. Um, Yeah, so Violent Outburst being an instant means you can cast it on your opponent's turn, which also lets you use Force of Negation to protect your Violent Outburst, and your opponents don't get to use their force on it either. So, it can be very hard to fight this deck sometimes, especially when you're on the play. Like, you're on turn 3 and your opponent's upkeep, they only have 2 lands in play, you outburst after having cycled like 3 guys, they're just dead. Like, there's a lot of times that even if they have force in hand, they can't use it. So you're just gonna put a bunch of big stuff into play they can't deal with. You have grief to clear the way. Grief being 4 mana is really great for this. Means that you will never cascade into it, even though you're effectively playing it as a 0 mana spell. Yeah, and your beaters, like I said, this one is good because this kind of gives you control over the game. So once you resolve a living end, can make sure your opponent's not going to find anything off the top of their deck to put them back in the game. Street Wraith is just a 0 mana cycler, so you need to fill up the graveyard. This is a hexproof cycler, which is kind of nice. And then Waker of Waves. This one's actually, this is like a somewhat newer card. You pay 2 and discard it. It doesn't cycle. It actually preordains, sort of. Or you look at the top, or what? No, I guess this would be sleight of hand. Yeah. So, yeah, you put a card in your graveyard, and you put one in your hand. So it's like almost like drawing 2 cards for this deck, because you get to put the big 7/7 with the huge ability in the graveyard, which is where you want it. You get to dig for, you dig for your Violent Outburst or your Shardless Agent, and you also can put another creature in the graveyard. Actually, so I guess in some senses, for 2 mana, you can effectively just be getting like 3 cards with this thing. It's great. So, puts things where you want and digs for what you need. Very powerful. And when it's in when it's in play, it's a 7/7 that like reduces aggro against you. Very strong. We Everybody I think knows about grief. Like this is another Modern Horizons card that this picked up, which is really good, and very like well complements this deck. Because you're playing Street Wraith, um, you have black cards to pitch to it. So that's one of the reasons that, Architects of Will isn't here, so you have more black cards to pitch to Grief, but this thing still cycles for blue, so it sort of costs black, but at the same time, it really doesn't. It's like a black card that's really a blue card in this deck. So, I mean, you might sometimes want to, like, cast this or, like, suspend Living End, but for the most part, you're not gonna. Like, yeah, this has a singleton Sunken Ruins for the rare case in which, you need the double black, but in general, like, this deck is just not, it doesn't really care too much. Like, you could play maybe like another, like a Watery Grave here too. It's possible, but really you're focused primarily on three colors. You want your green for your Cascade spell, your blues for your cyclers, and then just having access to red mana for Outburst. That's it. Outburst being the best Cascade spell because you can do it at instant speed. So, and it also has the secret mode of sometimes, it can just add like an extra 3 to 4 damage to your board so you can win a turn faster. So yeah, this deck's really good. Okay, let's take a look what we got in the chat. Oh yeah, Contra here for the 5-0. Oh, you know what? Before we start here, I'll show you. If you were following me on Twitter, you probably saw this, but yeah, look, that's my new adopted beta fish. It is a Merfolk of the Pearl Trident in here. So, I think I'm gonna name it Cookie. And it's just, yeah, this is its new enclosure it's gonna live in. So, alright, let's go and let's take this through a league and see how we do. This deck's pretty, it's a really strong deck. It's put up some serious results in the, in the last year. Alright. And if you have Force of Negations, the rest of the deck is only about 400-ish ticks to borrow. Like, maybe Endurance, might... that's this, I think, probably the second most expensive thing in it. So if you have, the 400 ticks mana traders account, if you have forces, you can definitely play this deck for 400 ticks. Ice Spirit. Alright. We are on the play. Alright, so we gotta look at this. We have a Cascade spell. We have, yeah, this has basically everything. So we'll just cycle Architects at the end of turn. Or, I mean, we could cycle this. It doesn't really matter. We can get a breeding pool with this. So we just need to get one more land and we'll be good to go. Sure, birds. This might be Yawgmoth. I'm going to cycle this first because there's some reasonable possibility that we might care about using Grief, so... Yeah, I don't think our life total is going to matter, so... We're pretty much just going to murder them. So I think we're definitely going to evoke Grief here. Because we want to cycle, evoke Grief. Okay, we got the land, so... I think they know that they're right fucked. They have nothing. Like, none of this matters. The young wolf, that's not gonna do anything. I think we're just getting rid of Grist. That's the only thing that, like, reasonably does anything. They can play their young wolves if they want, which doesn't really make a difference. Sure. We know that they're not going to be drawing. Like, this is the only turn they're going to get to actually draw something. So they have one mystery card right now. So they played that. They played the swamp. Okay, so then yeah, we fucking win. They can play both of the wolves here, and then they pretty much lose. We definitely cycle this. I don't think it really matters what we get here. They're not going to hurt our mana at all. I guess I'm going to get a forest. And we should probably do this now. Well, no, that we know what their cards in their hand are, so I don't need to do this right now. I can do this on their upkeep. Yeah, I would love to cast. We're gonna get like a million things back, and we're gonna make sure they don't draw anything. Sure. Yeah, they were like, okay, we've seen enough. Okay, so this is definitely Yawgmoth. So what are they going to be playing? Probably Endurance would be my guess. I think that they'd have this card. I don't know about like relics or anything else, but my guess is they probably have Endurance. Maybe discard spells, but I'm guessing that Endurance is going to be hard to beat if they have it. I don't know, like I don't really have a lot of good answers to that. Force doesn't counter it. Like Mystical Dispute is probably never countering that card, so it'll be tough. I mean, we have our option of like living ending away their board, which is kind of bad for them. Actually, Subtlety. I guess we need this. I'm gonna say probably Brazen Borrower is not great, and let's see. I don't know if Leyline is necessary or not. You know what? The Fish Fam gave us some extra help here. Let me see. Yawgmoth. Force of Negations, Subtleties. Yeah, Macabre. Yeah, you know what? Endurance is good. Okay, so we take out Force. Yeah, because that can the our own Endurance can actually screw up their own graveyard, so maybe keep a Borrower over a Force. I think that this is probably fine. I think he took out anything else, so okay. We'll try it like this. Terrible at playing Living In. So, zero understanding of the sideboard rules. Oh, well, I think this hand is good. I think we're going to keep it for sure. So we have lands, we have a creature, we have some like Living End potential here. Question is if we need to use this Grief. I definitely want to keep this. So we can cast everything. So the thing is, they have to find like endurance. This the sideboard the rules, like, what do you mean the rules? Like, do you not know what cards to sideboard, or do you like not get how the rules work for sideboarding? Like, be more specific, because one of those things I might be able to clarify. We just have to hit one land, so we'll probably be cycling Curator here. What cards? Okay. No, I can understand that. No, I actually asked the Discord for a little help with that. Oh, that's pretty good. So this means we can also pitch one of these things to this endurance now if we so choose. Um, let's go with a breeding pool first. Yeah. So the anti-hate definitely, like, on certain decks. Like, their main anti-hate, I think, is going to be endurance and grief. That's just not bad. So I think here it's worth using the grief. But I don't need to necessarily... Well, no, because if I don't want to give them the Planeswalker if they have it. So we'll get rid of the Architects. Let's see what they got going on. They do have an endurance. Okay, well, I'm gonna... Both of these are actually not good. Hmm. So they have I think I have to... I think I have to take the endurance? No, well, how does this work here? So if I take the endurance, they're gonna have scavenging ooze. They can like exile a card. Like, we'll still probably be able to put cards in the graveyard. So I think I have to take endurance here. Yeah, they're gonna use that to get rid of one thing. So still don't need to cycle that just yet. That's not bad. So like, one trick that I now have is I can endurance away their endurance. Um and yeah, so then I can like living away end away this scavenging ooze, but then they won't get the endurance back. We'll see what they want to... Like, I'm forcing them to do stuff with their turn right now. Okay. I think that... I think I cast... Let's see. I can cast one of the endurances to get rid of this, to kill off all of these things. Alright. That's pretty good. I guess the question is, do I go down another life point here? Or do I care if this comes back? Because I don't need to put anything in my graveyard. Like, I could plan to just go Shardless Agent, kill off their board. They get back Endurance. Um, but I still have these two. It's actually a tough choice because, I mean, I could use this Endurance to get rid of this and then just, like, cast Shardless, wipe their board. Like, they'll use Scavenging Ooze to eat my Endurance, so that'll go away. But they have, like, no cards then. That might just be okay. Huh. Let's get rid of their graveyard. I think this makes the most sense. Oops. Sure. So I'll have a Shardless in play. They won't have a board, so... I don't need to play this Street Wraith right now. Let's see, what are they going to do? Oh, Messenger, that's rough. Yikes. Alright, well, this is going to hurt, but I need to do something now. It's not exactly what I wanted to see here. I think I'm going to have to trade with this thing. One into... I guess... It doesn't really matter. If I draw a land, do I really care? I don't think so. You know what? If I draw like a fetch land, I probably do care. They have no cards. They're just top decking. All right, now we definitely have to block this thing because Living End is gonna come. So they have one card. So like unless it's exactly Endurance, they're probably in trouble. Yawgmoth. I don't think that's gonna work. So I have one more Living End in my deck. They can draw one card. Which means I should probably do this right now. I mean, this should be sufficient here. Yeah, they'll get Scavenging Ooze back, but that's not really a problem. They get to draw one card off of this thing. Oh no, that doesn't even work like that. Okay. Oh god. I gotta be careful here. Okay. Because if this Giralf's messenger dies again, I'm in trouble. Oh, am I just like fucked? Because Giralf's messenger can just attack me here. Alright, well, then, yeah, you know what? I think I just screwed myself. Alright. Is this all it has to do is attack? I don't have anything I can actually throw in front of it that won't die. So I didn't want to let them do it on their turn, but I guess I was supposed to. Yeah, I should have used the Violent Outburst. That was the mistake. Yeah, because this thing is undying. It's just going to come back. Alright, I should have used the Outburst, because then this thing wouldn't be able to attack this turn, and then maybe we could do something here. Fuck. You know, I didn't realize, like, I totally miscalculated that. I didn't think that I'd have another 2 damage to worry about. Whoopsies. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking that they would just be able to do this, but they didn't have any cards in hand, so I guess I didn't need to worry. Fuck. Alright. No, we need to play better than this. Okay, come on, we can do this. Just run this back. Would have gave us a chance to steal that game. Not a guarantee, because they still might have been able to string together enough blockers, but I'd love to play first. I think I actually want to mulligan this, because I don't want to start with a living end in hand. And I think I have to mulligan this, too. I guess we're keeping this. Put Misty and Misty on the bottom. This doesn't look good. They kept 7 cards. Endurance is definitely an option for them. That's actually helpful. Alright, I guess the question is, do I do it now or later? Okay, it did not stack them the way I needed it to. Oh god. They just don't even care. Like, they just fucking have like, we're lost. They have double endurance to start here. I think, like, that's pretty much concede territory. Like, they're just gonna hard cast it in response to anything. Alright, yeah, we're not beating that. That sucks. I think I fucked up game 2. I think if I had used the outburst instead of the agent, then I actually could have won game 2 potentially, but that's my bad. Did not pick up on the Geralf's Messenger. That matchup seems like that's pretty tough though, because they're relying, like, we have Force of Negations in our main deck, but their interaction for us is mostly creature stuff and not forcible stuff, so yeah, it makes our options to interact, to remove their hate, a lot weaker. Endurance is probably one of the hardest cards for us to deal with because it's instant speed and it can't be forced. It's a little bit rough, but what are you going to do? I missed a land drop, so, like, at that point I couldn't even get through it. Alright, let's go. We're in the draw here. We're up against the Luris deck. This is fine, I think. We'll keep it. There's Ragavan. The only nice thing is Ragman's probably not really casting anything. Like, it can hit us, but it's not really doing anything useful. I need to cycle into more creatures, though. That would be ideal. But this hexproof guy is actually really good. Let's see, what are they going to exile here? Steam vents. Alright, so Steam vents is good. It means we're not drawing it, and they don't get to really play it, so. Alright, take your time. Channeler, that's okay. Let them surveil first. Okay, I mean, they probably have to take the Outburst. So you don't really want to put Shardless Agent in the graveyard and give me more stuff to get back. That was not ideal. We just keep drawing lands. Alright. Well, we're only going to get like a 5/5 out of this deal. But it will kill off all their creatures at least, so that's something. Unless they draw like double Thoughtseize right now, I'm not that bothered by it. No, they put a channeler in their graveyard, which kind of sucks. Now they're gonna get that back. But this thing having hexproof is pretty good, so it does help a little bit. We could like combo this into like drawing like a Street Wraith here would be great. What are you gonna do? You're not gonna play another channeler, like that would be ridiculous here. I don't know why you would do that. They still don't have Delirium for this. That's interesting. What are you doing? Are you gonna cast Shardless Agent? Like, no, you cast Channeler. Maybe they have Drown in the lock. That's possible. All right. Well, I gotta try. Yeah, they have Drown. That makes sense. Fuck. Drown on 2 cards, and they're just digging for stuff now. Ugh. Well, we have to try to get Shardless back next turn. These stupid channelers are gonna destroy me. They like really needed that. We have 7 lands right now though, so it's not exactly ideal. You just put Laris in hand. That makes sense. come on! I've drawn land every fucking turn this entire game. Alright, well, I have to cast this right now, because if I don't, these are going to kill me. I don't really have an option. This is just like the Omega Flood. This is terrible. This is only a 19 land deck, too. It's just crazy. Alright. So this has to attack. They're kind of in danger themselves, though. I guess I can attack with this Riverwinder. No, it still might be okay, because they can cast a Channeler with Luris here. Can't block it, so I go to 6. They're going to probably block this thing with Ragavan. Yeah, so what do I need here? Probably Brazen Borrower would be my guess. That's where we're at. Curator of Mysteries could also work. But we need something to deal with one of these at least. Okay, well that's bad. I think we're dead. We don't... I don't think that's gonna matter. Put one into my hand. I guess this one. It doesn't really matter though. This is just gonna kill me. No, we just got ridiculously super flooded, so what are you gonna do? Okay, against this deck, Endurance is good. Also, Leyline of Sanctity is probably fine. Say Force of Negation, you know, the only thing they really have is like Drown in the Lock, and like Endurance can also kind of counter that. Probably Brazen Borrower is not like amazing. The Grief I think is okay because it deals with the counter magic. This just stops them from like thought seizing me, so think like this. So let me just check and see the recommendation. See if I figured this out. All right, Shadow. Yeah, it said Borrower can come out. I don't like making a whole lot of changes, huh? Dispute's okay. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm okay with this. Alright, I would love to play first. You know what? This should be okay because I can cycle this and then see it and go from there, I guess. So the question is, I don't know if I can use the Grief here. I think I might need to cycle this Architects to find more land. This might have been a little bit greedy. It's possible. Okay, Channeler, that's fine. You have 2 more shots at a land at least. That's useless. So if I want, I could put Endurance in my graveyard. I mean, I could just get back these 2. That's probably fine. If I don't draw a land, I can at least dig for 1 with Waker. Sure. So I think they have to take Waker of Waves. Well, actually, I don't know if they want to do that. Maybe they... None of this actually is very good for them. You don't want to... Well, you don't want to put creatures in the graveyard when I have 2 of these, unless you have, like, 2 discard spells, so... Yeah, maybe they just are gonna bank on another Thoughtseize. Okay, then that might make sense if you're just hoping I don't draw it. Unfortunately for you, opponent, I did. You don't have any lands in the graveyard, so... Okay. I don't think I really care about these. You know what? It might have been, I don't know. Maybe I should have put Channeler on top. Though if I put Channeler on top, it's a 3/3. They might have Shadow available here. Okay, well if this is what they're doing, then they're in trouble. They just gave up. All right, we got it. It's a little bit greedy, but we managed to get there. Okay, excellent. We'll just run this back. One of the nice things about this deck, the games are not long. This is great. We have discard protection. We have a cycler at least, and we have 2 outburst effects, so definitely going to keep this. Emerald to 6. So if they're banking on like Thoughtseize saving their ass, that's not gonna. They have to play like Ragavan or Channeler. So their only real hope here. We're just looking to chain some cycling stuff now. It's not exactly what I was hoping for, but... should do this now just in case I draw a black card, because then I might want to grief them. Like, I think this turn, Waker of Waves is probably the way to go. If we can draw that, that would be fantastic. In the worst case, we'll put 7 power in play, which is not bad. One of them's hexproof at least, so it's kind of nice. They're not finding creatures off of this to put back in place. So that's good. So I guess Waker of Waves would be good, or any cycling creature would be fine. Sure, get in your 1. That's actually pretty good. Well, it's a little bit late, but sure. This next turn we're gonna get 2 of these back. Like, that should be pretty devastating. I could even wait a turn to try to go for the Waker first, because getting that back would also definitely put the screws to him. Oh, if they're casting Iteration, then that's got to be good for us. It might be worth just putting these 2 in before they find something like a Soul Guide Lantern. If they play like Lantern right now, it would be devastating. They don't, so here, yeah, it just might make sense to do that. Oh, I should have actually fetched there. That's my bad. Could do this to get the endurance back, but I don't think I particularly need to right now. I mean, this does put like a bajillion power in play, so... That's pretty good. So I guess what I can do here is I can attack and then just endurance them. Turn this guy off. Lightning bolt. Okay. They really, really would like to turn this back on. It's not going to happen. Now they only have 2 cards in hand, so like 10 damage is going through. I think here I just use Grief. Like, they don't really have much that they can do at that point. Like, they could put a Shadow in play, but I guess that's why I want to do this right now. They have nothing. Okay. They're getting Luris back and praying. Well, they have Iteration. Okay, that's something. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. They want to leave this on defense just so they don't accidentally trigger it, so they have to attack with these. So they do it second main phase so they can actually put stuff in the graveyard. That's smart. But they didn't find anything, so alright. We got there. So I think we punted the first match, but we managed to get there in the second one. That's good. Interesting that they had Snapcaster and Spell Pierce. I wasn't expecting to see Snaps. It's been a long time for that card. The Spell Pierce makes sense, though. I expect that. Probably run that in the sideboard, I imagine. One of the cool things is, like, if they ever do go for a line where they just want to um, put Lurrus in play and, like, cast stuff out of the graveyard after you, like, discard it with Grief, then you can just, like, Living End them again and take away, like, all the stuff they recast, which is kind of cool. There's a lot of ways to play that. You know what I mean? The 5/5s that are hexproof are just pretty good against a deck that's full of removal. There you go. Look at spend some time with the nice beta fish. Aw. Actually, I think I'm thinking about getting like a little aquarium tank and actually getting like a live fish to put in here somewhere. I don't know. I've been slightly concerned about doing something like that just because it gets cold in here. And I don't know like how the temperature would be for a fish in this room. Waiting for opponent to join. Well, any time now. Nope. Swing and a miss. All right. Come on, MTGO. I want to play these matches quick. It's part of the appeal of this deck is that it shouldn't take too long to play. I grow tired in my advanced age of 33 now. Here we go. Let's go. Organic Gamer. We're on the draw. Alright. What do you got for me? Lurrus. So it's a probably Shadow again. In which case, this is fine. We have 2 discards. Yeah, we have pretty much everything, so even if they were to Thoughtseize us, it's not the end of the world. Verdant Catacombs. So what is this? Lurrus plus Verdant Catacombs. Are we up against Jund? I think we are. Oh, fucking Elvish Reclaimer. Okay. Let's play the Botanical, I guess. And we will cycle on their end step. Okay, this is fine. This is where we kind of want them to play like a Tarmogoyf or something. Like, they're going to have a hard time making good use of the Saga because of the Outburst, so... So I think they are going to play Goyf here. Yep. Okay, that's fine. Well, this is unfortunately going to make it bigger, but we have to. That's not really the card I wanted to see right here. You know what? It might have actually been corrected to cycle that there in case I want to use Grief. But... we'll take a little bit of a hit this turn. It makes it difficult for them to want to play more creatures. And ideally we wait till their turn to do this Outburst. So they won't get to keep any of the constructs. Definitely put Grief in hand. Okay, play Spirebluff here. Evoke Grief, pitching a Living End. You can Veil of Summer if you want. I'm still going to get this back. Okay, you know what? That makes sense. You're trying to get your Tarmogoyf back. I can dig it. What do you got? Tarmogoyf, Inquisition, Elfish Reclaimer. I guess I take the Inquisition. Oh, hey, Milk or Cream. So I don't really want to give them more creatures back, so I think that I'm supposed to take Inquisition here. So I don't want them taking my Violent Outbursts. But we're going to get back a much better board than they will. I can't cast the Tarmogoyf just yet. Okay, so I guess let's let the Reclaimer be a thing. Yeah. Now, yeah, see, now we can do this. Okay. Um, yeah, take a Tarmogoyf, I guess. Like, this is still pretty devastating to them. We're gonna get in for a bajillion damage here. I find it unlikely that there's much they can do about it. Like Shadow Spear, they don't have the mana to equip it right now. Yeah, that's fine. Hmm. It's not terrible. They still have two creatures, so I guess let's just attack. So they take 10 damage. Yeah, like that'll go away. That's fine. Okay, so they can gain 6 back, but I don't think it's gonna matter. How many Bajuka Bogs do you have? Like, you can equip this, gain 6 life back, go to 10, but then you don't have a blocker, so, like, that's not great. They can still block here. But I do have the option to do, like, a Violent Outburst at instant speed. I only have one more living end. No, they don't do anything. That makes a lot of sense. Hmm. Um. Hmm. Cycle. Can't really attack right now. I could actually attack with the Waker of Waves, and they have to block. Let's see what happens I think if I attack with this, this has to go away. So if it doesn't, I can just cast the Violent Outburst, and it'll kill this thing. There is already instant and creature in the graveyard, so I just won't cast the Living End. What do we got? You have another Bajuka Bog? I mean, I wasn't planning on actually going for it here. No, they have an Urza Saga. Okay. Interesting. No. I don't actually need to, so. They can make a construct, and that's about it. That was a tactical use of a Violent Outburst, so we're saving our last living end. So that hopefully it will be enough that we can win. So, like, yeah, this is all pretty good so far. I don't really want to cast another living end because they're actually going to get a bunch of stuff back. But I mean, them equipping Shadow Spare to this thing is like only so. Can still attack with this 7/7. I don't even have to actually. If they equip this, I can just attack with the Grief and hold this back on blocking duty. And they put Luris in hand. Okay, that makes sense. Hmm. Let's see. So, yeah, they have to throw that away, so they just go to 3 here. Okay, they had a Fatal Push. That's interesting. So here, I also have the option to just cast a Shardless Agent too. How's this gonna work out? They could. I don't think they're making a construct, so I don't really need to give them anything back here. I could just cast this as a 2/2. Because they put Luris in hand. Right, so that's the only thing I know that they have right now. Which means if they play like... If they played Luris and then played a Reclaimer, they can't block both of these. They'd have to block the Waker of Waves. I think they'd have to block it with Luris. Yeah, they block it with Luris. They gain 3 life. And then they lose 3, but Luris dies, so like... No, they only gain 2 life. That's actually important. So they go to 5, and then they take 3, so that's 2. But the Shardless Agent here would not be enough to get through this Reclaimer, so... But they will have to throw away Luris if they want to live. Alright, let's see what they get. They might have something like Soul God Lantern. They just get a Bauble. That's fine. Yep, this is still okay. So yeah, I have to attack with both to force Luris to block. They are barely keeping their head above water. Don't think it really matters. Just thinning the deck. That's definitely a card. So right now, they're going to go to 5 and they're going to take 3. Yeah. So there's nothing I can really... I can only put them to 1, so... This is probably the scenario where it's worth playing Shardless Agent and not... Yeah, we won't cast the Living End. You know, this is threatening to kill them. Here, like, the best they can reasonably do is gain 3 life and then take 5 and then they die. They also don't know we have this outburst, so alright, we got there. Excellent. Had to really fight for that one, but we did get there, so that's good. Okay, these decks usually don't have permanent base stuff. I'm not worried about things like Chalice or Relic for the most part. Maybe like Soul Guide Lantern is a thing. They do have Urza Saga and they have Shadow Spear, which is like annoying. They have discard spells, so Leyline's probably helpful. Say maybe Force is not terribly helpful, and Borrower's probably not terribly helpful. There is definitely an argument to play something like Foundation Breaker because they do have Urza Saga, so I might want to consider like 2 copies of this card at least. What are we supposed to like take out for that? I think the Hexproof is actually really good here too. Maybe we just take out like Architect and Swamp Walk's actually going to be relevant. I don't like. I think like this card's actually really good, so I don't know if I'm. I don't think I'm supposed to take that out ever. Yeah, I'm. Whale. I don't know. It's close. I gotta take out one more card, and I'm not sure what. Maybe just the Curator of Mysteries. Or I guess it could be another one of these. Like, these aren't that great. Alright, we're gonna do it like this. I Sweet Puri. Yeah, we're playing magical cards right now. This hand's not terrible. We've got some stuff that helps here. Think I keep this. I'm not sure, but this looks like this is probably a keep. Very likely we're not doing anything in turn 1, but we will have Waker for turn 2 to put a bunch of stuff in the graveyard. Find our land here. They didn't do anything yet either, so that's kind of fine. Well, that changes a lot of stuff, because now we can actually cycle Curator of Mysteries here. We'll get a breeding pool. If they play Urza Saga, then I'm probably going to play Breaker next. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, I have to do this now. Fuck, that was a little bit late. I'm probably going to have to play this Shardless Agent just to kill this thing. It's going to put one card in the graveyard. But it's going to exile it. But yeah, you know what? It's probably still okay. I don't need to do it right just yet. I can definitely play this agent next turn to get Curator back, kill off this Voidwalker, and then set up a better future for myself. I can try to just give them a land or something off of this Waker that they can't really use. If they played like a Tarmogoyf here, that would actually be pretty ideal. Witherbloom command. Okay. So they're going to get cards back, but it's hopefully not going to matter. Leyline of Sanctity, which we didn't want, Grief and Spirebluff. So, okay, that's fine. You know what? Out of all those, that's okay. You know what? It might actually not be okay because they can use the Grief. I guess I'm okay with it if they do that, though. You're gonna use Grief or you're gonna attack me, right? I guess I'm putting Forest into my hand. Alright, let's get rid of this stupid Voidwalker. We get our Curator back, and hopefully this will put us back on track. So what's funny here is I can actually get rid of this stupid Voidwalker forever now. And I think I'm gonna keep the Foundation. You know what? No, we'll keep the other Endurance in hand. So now we're gonna get this back, and yeah, and their Voidwalker's gone. So they have nothing. All right, this was a good turn. All right. We're getting them. What's actually cool is we can hard cast this Grief next turn if we want. Oh, fuck. Well, that's not going to happen. Alright, maybe if we're lucky. If we discard these two. Oh, nope. Do I really care about that? And it's protection from white. It's not really that important. I don't really need that here. I definitely want that one. Guess I'll play the Scalding Tarn. I don't need to do it right now. Wait and see what our opponent does, because right now they are the ones that have to do something. Because I'm really kicking their ass here. That sucks. But there's nothing I can particularly do about it. Sure. That is a super ridiculously brave attack. How? How is this your attack here? I mean, I'm not gonna do anything about it. Okay, so they're at 11, like. I'm just gonna flash this in case they think like Fatal Push is gonna save them. It's not. Sure. And take 7? That's still really bad for you. You have to find at least one more blocker for endurance here. You found Harmagoyf. Is it enough? You're really, really risking it here. Because if you attack and I have Violent Outburst, you lose. So I'm definitely going to do this at the end of turn. Like, I don't think they can attack. There's no way. Like, this is so ridiculously risky. Like, the game is going to end one way or another. I guess let's just... see what we can find here. Put one in my hand, I guess this one. Don't think... oh, I can't cast it, so I may as well cycle it. There we go, the game's over. I win. Violent Outburst without using the Cascade is going to get there. Yeah, they see the line. There we go. Well, that was a pretty tricky match, but we got there. Again, they have a lot of the good hate cards against the Living End deck. You know, Urza Saga getting stuff like Soul Guide Lantern is definitely a concern, but we were able to keep their graveyard under control and just build a superior board to theirs. That was good. Knowing what our outs were, because like if we find Shardless Agent and we cascade into Living End, like that keeps the game going. I mean, I still have the option to just like keep cycling until I find something, and if I don't find something, I just have to block with all 3 and hope that next turn I find something. So definitely were like lines that kept the game going, even if I didn't win on the spot there. But yeah, there's a lot of ways that you just get there immediately, so it was good. Yeah, like obviously, Violent Outburst is the win, but like we still have like at least 8 cards off the top that prolong the game. Hard casting another creature is also very fine. So if they attack with all 3, I block with 3 things, and then I just attack back for the win. So like any creature I could cast is fine. So like a Curator, I guess. I'm not. Yeah, that was pretty good. All right, here we go to round 4. Let's go. Are you not entertained? All right. What are we up against now? Oh, this is interesting. I kind of feel like I need to mulligan this. I don't think you're supposed to keep a 7 that has Living End in the hand unless it's like ridiculously good. So they have not shown us a companion. So there's no like Yorion or Luris to worry about. I don't think I need I don't even have that much stuff here. It's a card I don't want in my hand, 1 cycling creature, and like Disruption, which I don't have cards to pitch to either of them, so like that was pretty bad. This is much worse. We're definitely mulliganing this because we have 2 Living Ends out of our 3 in our deck, so going to 5 and just kind of hoping. I mean, Living End's not a bad deck to mulligan with because like all you really need are like 2 lands and some cycling creatures, and you can probably just get there. But this is a little bit rough. Uh, yeah, I guess I'll keep this. This is probably better. And put Living End and Grief in the bottom. Like, look at our hand. We have 2 cycling creatures, 2 lands, and an outburst. For 5 cards, it's not bad. Alright. Alright, we're up against Affinity. Interesting. Darksteel Citadel pass. Not really the way I saw that going, but you know what? That's fine. And we drew a fucking Living End, so that's great. They're definitely going to throw their hand on the board. So the question is, do I want to gamble on trying to get a Grief right now? I don't think they have an option to not... Well, I guess... No, I do need to do it, because if they have Arcbound Ravager, I'm fucking dead. So, that's the answer to that question. Yeah, we need to absolutely find this right now. And we did find it, so let's see if we pick off a Ravager. Nettle Cyst. I think that we're supposed to take this Nettle Cyst. They can't actually cast those, so... Alright. Their hand is actually pretty terrible here. They're not casting any of these cards. Fetch first. Get the steam vents. I'll pay the 2 life, just in case. Alright, well, I can't use that one, but that way if I kept cycling, it would be okay. I guess they can make a construct here if they want, but I don't think it's going to help them. The question is, does this deck play like a main deck Soul Guide Lantern? And my guess is probably yes, so I should not give them the opportunity to do it. I did not draw the land, and that was really bad. I desperately needed to draw the land there, because now, if they have main deck Soul Guide, I am kind of screwed. Like, I think I'm screwed either way if they have it, so I gotta try to find this mana. I'm gonna put the Botanical in my hand, cast it, and pray that they don't have main deck Graveyard Hate, that's all. Because if they do, I am probably lost. Really needed to draw the land, but we did not. Yep, construct, and alright. What are we gonna find? Springleaf Drum? I can deal with that. Springleaf Drum is not that big a deal. There are way worse things than that could have happened this turn. Because the cool thing is, Outburst can just kill both of these and not give a shit, so... And if... You know what? If they didn't get it there, they probably don't have it. Alright. I think I'm willing to gamble that they just don't have it. I think they're going to just make another construct right now. Okay, so here, let's just kill off all their things. Just in case they did somehow find it, let's just take care of it right now. Yeah, cast. Yeah, they give up. Okay. No main deck Lantern. That was really the key there. All right. So here we want Foundation Breaker and Force of Vigor. Those are going to be the big cards here. Other than that, like, there's not a lot that I have to worry about. Force is probably okay. Borrower is probably not that necessary because I don't imagine that they have much that I give a shit about, like, in that regard. Probably just blowing up artifacts and enchantments is good enough. We'll just take a look at our notes here and just see if it says anything. I don't think that was like. I guess it could. I guess that could be Hammer Time. Maybe they just don't. They're not playing the Luris version of it, so we could consider that. So I think we're on the draw. So actually, it does want Force of Negation here. Maybe we. What does he recommend taking out? Going down on the whale. Okay. Bringing these back in. I can live with this. We'll try this. It's a little bit rough actually. We don't have like we have one cycling thing, but that means I can't use the grief. Well, no, I'd have to use the living end with it. But it doesn't really chain into anything. Like it looks like it's not as bad as it is, but I think it actually is pretty bad. So, this looks much more appealing. I think I want to keep this. I just put the grief on the bottom. So I'm probably just casting Force of Vigor on their important stuff, and then hopefully just drawing some cycle guys. But I can always Force of Vigor using the Outburst. There's a Relic. Okay, see, I can kill off the Relic. That's not a big deal. I'll just play Misty and pass. It still could just be like an Affinity deck, I guess. But I don't know. It's hard to say what really is going on here. I don't know what the blue would be for. Okay. Is that all you have? This way, at least if I draw some cycling guys, I can actually use them. Okay, we'll get a breeding pool first. There we go. Pass, because there's some reality in which I might need to force something, but unlikely. I'm just hoping they don't have anything else they can really do for one. That's probably worth forcing, unfortunately. Of course, that's what I draw here, but it's fine. Just have to wait for them to play another Hate Rock. Even if it's like a Saga, that would still be fine. Okay. That's actually really good. Get a forest here. Yeah. Let's not let them draw cards. Fuck that. Hope that they just die in one land. That's also excellent. I don't even have to cast this Outburst. I can literally just cast it for mana here, and it's totally fine. Duck on one. Oh, that is not good for our dear hero. I almost don't even want to, like, I might want to just cast the Street Wraith for mana again, so. Like, see, if I draw a Grief, I can actually just hard cast it. I could also cycle this and maybe pick up, like, Force of Negation or something. I'll probably cycle this in the end step here. Alright, well, they found a Darksteel Citadel, so no matter what, I can't blow that up. They gotta find something, because I'm really starting to ruin their life. Okay, that's fine. You know what, I am gonna cycle this. I definitely want that on the bottom. Alright, well, if they don't have a flyer, I just kill them with Outburst next turn, so that's the plan. They just tap out for something, and then Outburst just ends them. Let's hope, let's hope, let's hope. They gave up. Alright, excellent. We win the match. See, nothing to it. So far, the only match we lost was the one I think I screwed up game 2 where we could have won it, so. Look at the power of Living Ends. Like, there's been a fair bit of hate coming at us, and we're still managing to plow through it, so that's good. Alright, on the play for the last round, I would love to play. This hand is the worst one we've had so far tonight. I think I do keep this. I have enough cycling stuff to dig for one of my win cons. And I just put Living End in the bottom, so that's totally fine, I believe. I'll just play like Spirebluff and pass. Cycle Curator. Or actually, and I'll probably cycle the Riverwinder first, because there's always the possibility I draw lands and just hard cast this thing, so. Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, because I can always get the breeding pool with this, so. Here, I just pass, and then the end step, I'll just use Waker of Waves. Hopefully this is not like blue-white control, because Teferi would be a pain in the ass. Architects goes in the graveyard, and Shardless Agent goes to hand. Alright, well, this is where we just have to hope they don't have, like, a force. Because if they have a force, life is going to get much harder for us much quicker. Oh, no. Turn off auto yields. We don't, yeah, we need to make sure we cast this. That doesn't look good. Faithful Mending? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck! That's gonna be really bad. Archine of Cruelty and Muldrifter. Fuck. Alright. They're gonna get stuff back way better than us. Okay. I guess them. So we're up against Reanimator. Well, what they don't know... Okay. We're gonna sacrifice this one. Yeah, what they don't know is we actually have another devastating living end coming back at them, so I guess discard Waker of Waves. And I mean, if they attack us, that's actually still pretty good. Okay. So I don't want them to have that. If they want this land untapped, they have to pay life for it. Like, this is a situation where I really kind of want them to attack me so I can throw away another Waker of Waves and then cast another Shardless Agent, and then I will have a much better board state than them, hopefully. Oh, god damn it, it's Teferi. Alright, that's a problem. I think we just lose. Teferi just ends the game right there. Um, how is this gonna work? Because I can't actually cascade here, so I need like Brazen Borrower to bounce this Mole Drifter, I guess. It's not good. I guess I'm discarding Waker. That is horrifically bad. That doesn't really change the math, though. It's kind of Brazen Borrower or we don't have a hope, so. That means that we've lost the game because this is locking us out of here. Because we need to bounce the Archon, I mean, so. Alright, well, we just got completely fucking wrecked. Like, that surprise faithful. Yeah, them. Oh my god. So good. Like, we just reanimated their own stupid creatures there. That is gonna be tough. I don't know how we beat this. I guess, well, we need Mystical Dispute. That's for sure. I guess we need Endurance because it ruins their graveyard. Probably Subtlety as well because I need cards against Teferi. I think Borrower goes out. Probably this is not that good. What about Grief? Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe not Subtlety. That might be a little bit too much. No, but, like, I still have Grief, Dispute, and Force to try to stop Teferi from entering play. That is still kind of a hill to climb, though. Alright, I think like that. But that's kind of hard. So, let me just see if there's any other suggestions. Is Reanimator even on this list? I don't think I see it on the list. Yeah, I think that Reanimator's just gonna fucking kill us. That fucking instant speed mending against us was just brutal. Absolutely devastating. Oh, no, come back. There we go. I would love to play first. His hand's actually pretty good. Grief, pitching Grief. Okay, well, I think that's our fault because I don't think I have any answer in here. I didn't bring in the fucking forces or foundation breakers. Whoopsies. So, do I just like shame concede to this because I don't actually have any cards for it? There's like no way that we're gonna fucking defeat them. Yeah. Yeah, fuck. All right. I had like an answer to anything that, they had to actually cast. Uh I don't believe that there's any realistic chance that we can actually like defeat this card. Because it means we're not reanimating anything for the entire game with Living End. Ah, fuck. Alright. Alright. Sure. Uh-huh. Um, yeah, I think we're just fucked. Because at this point, the only option we have is to, like, hard cast spells. And it's not really going to do us any good. Alright, we'll give it a chance and see. Maybe if we can get to enough mana, this will be okay. I'm probably gonna have to like grief to fairy out of it. I don't even know if I do at this point. It doesn't really do anything. But we're pretty much like losing this game. Whoops. Oh well. Yeah. Oh, fuck. This has to be like the worst matchup, right? Okay. We'll let them do their. We'll cast grief just to see what they have going on. Fuck you, Teferi. Oh, alright. Curator. We have to, like, get a land and get a curator and pray. I mean, I could kill this grief. It's definitely, like, not out of the realm of possibility. Like, we haven't lost yet, so there's that. And they just drew the island, so. Um, sure, we'll take the 2. Taking 2 is not that big a deal. Sure, they're gonna draw 2 cards. That makes sense. I probably could have. I didn't. I totally ignored the possibility of hardcasting Force into Fairy here. So, like, maybe I should have took the Mole Drifter and then Forced to Fairy. That would have been better. It would have been much better. I've already kind of just given up on this. Alright, well, here's the plan. We're going to draw a Curator of Mysteries, and that's how we're going to get this done. Could you imagine, like, if we actually did come back and win this game? Okay, well, look, it worked out for the best anyway. If we just somehow miraculously got there this game. Come on, Curator. Show me your mysteries. No. Pass. I don't want to cast this because this is just going to give them more cards, and that would be a mistake. Oh, that is really bad. Yeah, we're definitely not casting a living in this game. So, Violent Outburst is not a castable card anymore. They put Faithful Mending there. That's interesting. I guess maybe they want this emissary, but the only way to get it's in hand right now, so they can't actually put it there. Maybe they only have the one. All right, we gotta risk it to get the biscuit. Oh no. Okay, you know what? That actually does something here. All right. Endurance is as a card that does help. Because now if they like discard this thing, I can just exile it from their graveyard. Sure. I can't block this yet, but it's something. We have something. Um let's get the Archon away from the graveyard. They still have this in hand, don't they? Why didn't they discard that? Alright. This is, again, we need Curator to have a hope. Yeah, you definitely have to attack. Because I can't block here. This is where having a Watery Grave might be somewhat useful. Because then we could at least cast, like, the Architects of Will. There is nothing I can do about that. Teferi just kind of locks us out. Alright, that's where it's done. I gave it my best shot, but alright. So I think the first match was definitely winnable, and I kind of screwed that up. But the last one was like unwinnable, so it's 3-2. But like I think if I played the first one slightly better, it could have been 4-1. So it's not terrible. But given how bad the last match is, like that would be yeah, like that was kind of random. But you know, you get paired up against the fucking deck that can just like, okay, they have 2 mana here to respond to your living end to put Archon of Cruelty in the graveyard. Like, how many decks, you know, is that like a legitimate concern versus? Like, pretty much none. Um, I do think that if I was playing this, I might cut maybe like one of these Steam vents to put in one Watery Grave, or maybe a Spirebluff Canal, actually. Yeah, you know what? I think I'd cut a Spirebluff for a Watery Grave, because then this becomes a castable creature if you actually need the mana for it. So I don't know if I would put in like 2 more black sources. That's probably unnecessary, but I'd think at least one so that, you know, you have 4 more cards in your deck that you could reasonably cast. That would make sense. I mean, the Sunken Ruins is nice because by itself it can help you like cast this stuff, but yeah, I think over like Living It's a fun deck. Like, you know, we got some pretty epic victories, and you know, kind of unfortunate epic loss there. Did not plan for Leyline though, you know, and that's kind of on me. Um, I probably should have something. I should bring in like Foundation Breaker, because it is entirely feasible that they could have like rest. Well, I guess not rest in peace, but maybe like maybe they'd bring in like Soul Guide Lantern or some sort of one-sided hate. So Leyline was a pretty like out there choice. Like I that wasn't one I was really thinking about. I don't imagine like a lot of decks play Leyline of the Void, so it's not a huge concern, but it's still kind of on me for not having something for it at least. Like, yeah, bringing in Foundation Breaker just as like a safety valve, because they're playing colors that like definitely can hurt the graveyard at least. So I mean, they're playing it themselves too, but there's a lot of good one-sided hate if they want to run it, so it's fine. But yeah, I think the deck is pretty good. I enjoy it. I hope that everybody here had fun. Like I said, I'm trying to play a little bit of different stuff in Modern to keep everybody entertained. So, um, I definitely enjoyed this, and some of these new cards, like I think this is a really strong uncommon, and I think this helps the deck a lot, just because the fact that you put a 7/7 with a good ability in the graveyard, and you put another creature potentially in the graveyard, and you find either the land or the cascade spell that you need, like really helps bring this together. And it's a blue card, so you can like pitch it to force if you need to. So it's actually, I think this is like got to be one of the best additions to the deck in recent memory. And like the grief definitely helps. The Shardless Agent's a huge boon because it makes Shardless Agent also being a blue card means that force is just way better, and you are primarily playing like a green blue deck. Yeah, because you do have some green stuff in the sideboard here, so. But yeah, so we're done for today. Probably tomorrow I'll be playing Final Fantasy VII, assuming that everything goes according to plan and that like I'm not totally dead by the time I get home. So we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, well, let's see, what do we got going on here? You know what? Let's go and take a look at what Fluffy Wolf is up to. I think that's going to be our raid for today. So. Oh, no, not that. Here we go. All right. Really appreciate everybody being here. So, yeah, take it easy. I'll see you next time, and please enjoy Fluffy Wolf. He looks like he's playing a white-black deck, so. See ya.